And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to takesbyfans.com/watch. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big Monday. Holy moly, folks. The Week 18 finale, the regular season finale, folks, in the NFL. Oh my God. Oh my God. Was that one of the most entertaining weeks of the entire year, folks? I want to say maybe the most entertaining. The night game, Chargers at Raiders for that playoff spot. Oh my God. This entire, all day yesterday was just absolutely insane. The Colts losing to the Jaguars, folks. There is so much to talk about here. Coaches being fired. Big old surprise. Coaches getting fired. So much to talk about and break down, folks. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Walk through, talk about, discuss, break down all the matchups that we saw yesterday in that crazy finale. And now the playoffs are all set, folks. And later in this week, we will once again have to re-walk through the playoffs because once again, our overall final predictions didn't quite match up to the overall result of what that final playoff picture is going to look like because we had the Colts in the playoffs and now we know the Colts aren't in the playoffs and now we have to watch the Steelers offense for one more week, which we do not want to do at all. So we will walk through the playoff picture and crown yet again our third Super Bowl champion based on the matchups. We'll do that a little bit later in the week. So let's get the NBA Daily 10 out of the way. We are sticking strictly to the 10 minutes. We won't get to extra bets for the NBA today on the show, but stick around to my Twitter at Takes by Fans. We will post some NBA plays if there's anything tickling our fancy tonight. But if you're looking for anything to bet tonight, folks, bet Alabama in the national championship game. I mean, they're underdogs. I mean, is that a no-brainer? So if you want to bet anything and you need our advice, there it is. Alabama, go bet that. Alrighty, but anyway, here we go. 10 minutes on the clock. Let's get the NBA Daily 10 out of the way so we can talk about what the hell happened yesterday in the NFL. So here we go. 10 minutes on the clock, sticking to it very strictly today, folks. Here we go. 10 minutes on the clock, and the 10 minutes start right now. Alrighty, tons of games on in the NBA. Last night, we didn't have any NBA bets going because we were just strictly focused, locked in, laser focused in the NBA or in the NFL last night. So first game up here, Spurs at the Nets, and then Spurs take them to overtime. Ooh, that's not great for this Nets team. Now, the Nets do get the win, 121-119, but it's an overtime win against this Nets team, or against the Spurs team. Not great. James Harden, 26 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. Great night. Kevin Durant, 28 points, 6 assists. Efficient as always, 52% from the field. But once again, Patty Mills struggling a little bit. He wasn't their third leading scorer. Nicholas Claxton, their big, was their third leading scorer with 16 points and 14 rebounds. Patty Mills, again, 13 points, but on 3 of 12 from the 3. We need Patty Mills to be way more consistent. And then for the Spurs, everybody was getting it done last night. DeJounte Murray, 19 points, 12 assists. Lonnie Walker, 25 points. We had Jacob Poeltl, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Bryn Forbes off the bench, 18 points, 5 assists, getting it done. So a lot of Spurs showing up last night. Unfortunately, Nets close it out in overtime. They win 121-119. Then we get the Hawks and the Clippers, and the Clippers beat the Hawks, and the Clippers win without Paul George. Damn, who got it done? We had Amir Coffey, 21 points, led the team in scoring. Reggie Jackson, 12 points. Their bench truly got it done last night. Terrence Mann, 10 points, 7 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe, 12.7 assists. And then Serge Ibaka doing his thing, 16 big old points for the big man. Give him credit. And then Marcus Morris, always consistent on this team, 15 big old points. And then for the Hawks, once again, losing with Trae Young. Come on. No Clint Capella last night, and we get Onika Okongwu at the 5 for the Hawks, 9 points, 10 rebounds. Trae Young, 19 points, 7 assists. We had Bogdanovich, another 19-point performance, but everything other than that was a little lackluster. Hawks, not great here, losing to a shorthanded Clippers team. Never a good look. Clippers win 106-93. Then we get the Wizards at the Magic, and the Magic, man, oh man, this is a team they really needed to beat, a game they really needed to win for us to truly buy into this kind of a little bit of an emergence of this Magic team. But they lose last night to the Wizards 102-100. Kyle Kuzma, 27 points, led the team in scoring, and get this, 22 rebounds. A really good night, great night, I should say, by Kyle Kuzma. Now, he almost beefed it down the stretch, missed a late free throw that kept it a one-possession game for the Magic down late, but they couldn't really capitalize, and the Wizards end up getting the 2-point win regardless. Bradley Beal, 20 big old points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, and then Spencer Dinwiddie at the 1, 8 points, but those 10 assists, gotta love it. And then for the Magic, Cole Anthony, 12 points, only 2 assists, 6 rebounds. Come on, Cole Anthony, need this man to be that main scorer and facilitator. And Cole Anthony, just a little bit lackluster last night. We had Terrence Ross, big-time performance coming off the bench, 32 points, obviously led the team in scoring. Mo Bamba, 10 points, 9 rebounds. And Gary Harris, 11 points with Franz Wagner, 16 points. But Magic, man, this was a game they needed to win. Super disappointed in them. And now, we have been trying to, get big and kind of, keep up positive vibes on this Magic team. But this loss last night at home against a little bit of a struggling Wizards team at the current moment, and they lose. Damn, real bad taste in our mouth here. Magic let us down last night. Damn. All right, then we get the Pelicans at the Raptors. Pelicans kept it close, but this Raptors team, folks, is starting to catch some gosh dang magic, folks, and we are absolutely here for it. This Raptors team, now the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, at 20-17 record, and they are currently about a game and a half out from that 6th seed guaranteed playoff spot. So watch out for this Raptors team, folks. They are coming, and they are coming because they've got the squad. Fred VanVleet, 32 points. Again, he's like on his LeBron, folks. I know everyone's, crazy with LeBron stats because he's been going manic. Even last night, the Lakers were trash, not LeBron, though. But Fred VanVleet, I think he's going like toe for toe, tit for tat, game for game, following LeBron. LeBron's like, hey, I got a 30-point game. Fred VanVleet's like, yeah, I got one too. LeBron's like, well, I got another one. I got 2 in a row. Fred VanVleet's like, yeah, I got 2 in a row. LeBron's like, I got 5 in a row. What's up? Fred VanVleet's like, yeah, I got 5 in a row too. What did you talk about, king? I'm the king. Come on. Fred VanVleet, 32 big ol' points. Shout out to that man. And then Pascal Siakam getting it done as well. 29 points, 7 assists, 10 rebounds. And then for the Pelicans, Valanciunas, 20 points, 17 rebounds. Brandon Ingram, 22 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. So the top 2 players for this Pelicans team got it done. Everything else a tad lackluster, just missing that third piece, folks. Truly unfortunate. Raptors get the 4-point win, 105-101. All right, then we get the Timberwolves at the Rockets, and the Timberwolves, man, oh man, a great performance last night. They put up 141 points. They get the win, 141-123. Got to key in that defense a little bit, but putting up 141 points, man, oh man, you don't need defense at that point. Karl Anthony Towns, 40 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds on 60% shooting. We get Anthony Edwards, only 19 points last night and 6 assists. D'Angelo Russell, 22 points, 10 assists. But Jared Vanderbilt, a fantastic performance, 21 points, 19 rebounds off the bench. Malik Beasley, 13 points. And Jalen Noel, 11 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. So everybody was clicking, especially the big 3 of the Timberwolves last night. And then for the Rockets, we have Christian Wood, 22 points, 8 rebounds. Daniel Tice didn't play. That's why it was a little bit competitive. And look at this bench here for this Rockets team, folks. Everybody getting it done. Josh Christopher, 19 points. We had Kenyon Martin, 13 points, 7 rebounds. Garrison Matthews, 14 points. I mean, that's all coming off the bench here. So Rockets, man, maybe trying to get back to that, coveted 7-game winning streak that they went on, but they can't close out games here. Timberwolves get the win, 141-123. All right, then we get the Nuggets at the Thunder. The Nuggets hold on close here, get a close win, 99-95 over the Thunder. Once again, we can't, no viability on this Nuggets team with just Jokic by himself. Jokic, 22 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists. He got it done. Aaron Gordon, 4 points on 9 shots. Exactly what we know about Aaron Gordon. He is not that offensive guy that this team desperately needs some offensive production here. Austin Rivers, 22 big ol' points coming off the bench, and Jeff Green, 16 points. Unfortunately, well, I guess fortunately, they do get the win, but 95 points. Once again, folks, no viability in this Nuggets team overall. Yes, they beat the Thunder, but we know the Thunder aren't that good either. They beat Lugens Dort, 14 points on 1 of 9 from the 3. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, only 8 points last night on 14% shooting, no assists. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 4 assists, excuse me. Still 8 points on 14% shooting, though. So, no offense, no great facilitating of the floor. Thunder lose 99-95. All right, then we get the Bulls at the Mavericks, and the Mavericks get it done. They pull away. Bulls kept it close, back and forth game and up until the fourth quarter, where the Mavericks just pull away and get the win, 113-99 over the Bulls. Luka Doncic, 22 points, 14 assists, 14 rebounds, and no Porzingis last night. So Maxi Kleber at the 4, 18 points, second leading scorer for the squad. So shout out to the Mavericks for getting it done. And then for the Bulls to lose, Derrick Jones Jr. in the starting lineup, and they lose. We had DeMar DeRozan, 20 points, 8 assists. Derrick Jones Jr. only 9 points on 7 shots. Vucevic down low, 13 points, 6 rebounds. And then Zach LaVine, 20 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Lonzo Ball, 9 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds. Kobe White coming off the bench, 13 points, 4 rebounds. So still Kobe White, we're loving what we're seeing from him. Kobe White, a minus 17 on the floor. Lonzo Ball, a minus 18 on the floor. Who do we want more? Kobe White. Mavericks get the win, 113-99. All right, final 2 minutes here. We get to the next game up here. Cavs at the Warriors, and Klay Thompson is back, folks. This would have been the game to bet, and we forgot to send y'all the bet. I truly apologize. Klay Thompson, first time returning. Of course, they were going to win and cover the spread. I want to say they were like minus 5 or 7, but they win by 14. So whatever it is, they covered it anyway. But Klay Thompson's first game back, folks, in 2 years. 17 points, 3 of 8 from the 3. Only played 20 minutes. Steph Curry, 28 points, 5 assists, got it done. And then for this Cavs team, they kept it decently competitive, but it was Klay Thompson energy, Klay Thompson night. They weren't going to win this game. So we're not going to really kind of focus too much on this Cavs loss. Darius Garland, 9 points on 25% shooting. Jared Allen, 12 points, 7 rebounds. And then we have Evan Mobley, 11 points and 6 rebounds. Unfortunately, come up a little bit short. All right, then we get the Kings at the Blazers. Blazers get the win, 103-88. Nice job with this Blazers team, winning without Lillard and McCollum. So Anthony Simons getting it done, 31 points, 6 assists. You must trade Damian Lillard. Anthony Simons is getting it done. You can move on. You need to move on when that trade value is at its highest. Get rid of Damian Lillard. You've ran your course with McCollum and Lillard. It doesn't get it done. It doesn't win. It's unfortunate. Stick with Anthony Simons. We get Nurkic, a great game as well. 14 points, 9 assists, and 16 rebounds. And then for the Kings, nobody did anything great. We got 14 seconds, folks, and we still got to talk about the last game here. Grizzlies at the Lakers. Grizzlies get the win, 127-119. Everybody was trash on this Lakers team besides LeBron James, 35 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. Russell Westbrook, 6 points on 16% shooting. He had 0 turnovers, but still a minus 22 on the floor. And then Ja Morant doing Ja Morant things, 16 points, 7 assists, and then look at this block here. Look at this mother 11 block by Ja Morant, getting up two-handed all the way above the square, above the backboard square. That's how high Ja Morant jumped, two-handed, pinning the shot against the glass, folks, above the square on the backboard. Absolutely magnificent. Grizzlies and Ja Morant get the big win over the Lakers, 127-119. Alrighty, that is our 10 minutes, folks, here, and we are done talking the NBA for today. Stick to our Twitter for NBA bets for today. If we take any at all, we have to evaluate the value, but we can't do that right now on the show. So we will do that after the show, and or maybe at the end of the show. Whatever it is, we're not doing it right now. Alrighty, let's head over to the NFL, folks, and start breaking down the Week 18 finale of the regular season. We've got all the playoff matches set. Some teams took advantage of a, hey, win and in scenario. Some teams took advantage of a, hey, you need a win, but you need some help. And some teams absolutely beefed it big time, folks. So let's start breaking it down, going through matchup by matchup here and seeing what the hell happened in Week 18 in the NFL. Alrighty, let's start with the first game up here. Packers at the Lions, and bango, Dan Campbell is the real deal, folks. Lions get the Week 18 meaningless game for them win 37-30. Yes, fighting to the final whistle. Green Bay came out and got a touchdown on a 7-minute drive going up 7-0. But what did the Lions do? Did they give up? No. They had a turnover on downs. Did they give up? No. And then they had that big time touchdown to tie it up, and then they were off to the races from there, keeping up scoring with the Packers all throughout, and then closed out the game in the fourth quarter with a final interception back-to-back on Jordan Love to close out that 7-point lead for this Lions team. So Dan Campbell, we had our money on Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh. One coach got it done. Dan Campbell won. Robert Saleh we have to talk about when we get to that matchup here. But we bet on Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh because these are the coaches that you hired. They will not let you take a meaningless game off. They will get everybody right and ready to run through a brick wall in a meaningless game. That is kind of their kind. That's what they are. That's their picture. When you look at Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh, you think, okay, these are just two great motivators of head coaches, and Dan Campbell got it done last night. Exactly what we wanted to see, and now we're heading into next season fully behind Dan Campbell. Now, we do need to see a little bit of a next step. They have to probably win 6, 7, 8 games next season, but we do have to see that kind of next step by Dan Campbell. But for his first year, we give this man so much credit, so much praise. We were a little wrong about Dan Campbell in the beginning. We didn't give him that much credit, but his entire team rallied behind him the entire year, and for that, if closing out Week 18, Dan Campbell has our utmost respect this entire offseason heading into next season. Dan Campbell did it, folks. He understood the assignment and got it done. Lions get the win 37-30. Now, we know, Aaron Rodgers only played like half the game and all that, but we knew all this coming into this. We knew Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be that much of a factor. We knew this wasn't going to be kind of, a game full of two great teams battling each other with so much on the line. We knew Dan Campbell, meaningless game. Can they be competitive? Yes, they won. And could they put up the score? Yeah, they put up 37 points. So big old green flags all around Dan Campbell heading into next season, and I absolutely love it. All right, let's start here with the Lions since we're praising and gushing over Dan Campbell. Alrighty, so Jared Goff played the game here, good to go, and played the game and got it done. Really solid performance here by Jared Goff, and now the Lions have a little bit of a decision in the offseason. We've already heard Dan Campbell say, yeah, I don't need to move off of Jared Goff. He can definitely be the guy next year. I'm all here for it. And now Jared Goff had a pretty solid performance, so a little bit of a quarterback, little controversy in this offseason. Should you stick with Jared Goff? No. We saw what he did, in the regular season when games truly mattered. He wasn't getting it done. Yes, he won this game. That's all great for, the foundation, for the coach and all that. But Jared Goff, I don't think he's still the guy for an entire season. Maybe a backup somewhere, but Lions really should be focusing on getting a quarterback for the future. And we'll see if Dan Campbell, once again, we're going to see what is Dan Campbell made out of. Is he going to have kind of, the stones to get rid of Jared Goff to cut him? It's going to be tough to do since they won together and all that. But Dan Campbell, at the end of the day, you have to make tough decisions at the head coaching position. And Jared Goff may be that decision that holds you back from being a good coach, or, that's really it. I don't see Jared Goff propelling Dan Campbell as a good coach. I don't see that. But Jared Goff last night, pretty solid game. 21 of 30, folks, for 70% completion percentage, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. Clean, flawless game by Jared Goff. Where was this the entirety of the season? I think Jared Goff's put together like 2 good games all around this entire year, and I just don't know if that's going to be enough for him to keep the starting quarterback position of the Lions heading into next year. But we'll see, though. Long off season. We'll see what Dan Campbell does. All right, in the rushing attack, it wasn't anything great, but Jamal Williams, 13 carries for 43 yards. DeAndre Swift, 7 rushes, 30 yards, and a touchdown. Khalif Raymond got the ball once for 13 yards. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1 rush for 12 yards. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is the future of the Lions. This is who you truly kind of focus. Him and maybe your running backs, DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams, have been pretty okay here for the Lions rushing attack, but the emergence of Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver for this Lions team, this is it. Like Braxton Berries with the Jets, you've already got one solidified great piece that you can count on and maybe build your offense around a little bit. Amon-Ra St. Brown here for the Lions is exactly that. Last night led the team in receptions and receiving yards. 8 catches for 109 yards and 1 touchdown. Fantastic. Khalif Raymond, 4 catches, 101 yards and a touchdown. Brock Wright, 2 catches, 51 yards and a touchdown. Tom Kennedy, 2 catches, 16 yards. DeAndre Swift, 4 catches, 16 yards. And Josh Reynolds, 1 catch for 11 yards. So Lions end the season out on top. Dan Campbell does classic Dan Campbell things, and that's great for year 1, building this Lions foundation, building the culture, and we'll see what Dan Campbell does in this offseason to boost this team. And once again, the quarterback position is a big factor for this Lions team heading into next year. We'll see what Dan Campbell does. Alrighty, and then the Packers now. Aaron Rodgers, he started the game and looked pretty good. Got him on the board, got him a few touchdowns, and, was competitive all game. And that's what's so great about Dan Campbell winning this game. It wasn't like Aaron Rodgers was blowing out this Lions team, and the Lions only came back when Jordan Love was in the game. No. The Lions were scoring all throughout the game. Never got down big bad. They were answering scores. They were going toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers. So another huge green flag for Dan Campbell, being super competitive even with Aaron Rodgers in the game for the entirety of the first half. So shout out once again, big time to Dan Campbell. The man deserves a lot of credit, folks. Robert Saleh deserves no credit. We'll trash him. Not trash. We might go full-blown trash, but we'll definitely knock Robert Saleh. But Dan Campbell is the true, once again, I hate saying this, but the true kind of, muscle head coach. He is the one and only. Robert Saleh, a little bit of a pretender. All right, Aaron Rodgers here goes 14 of 18, folks. Jeez Louise, fantastic. 77% getting right for the first round bye. So great completion percentage, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Classic Aaron Rodgers. And then Jordan Love comes in the game and didn't look as good as Aaron Rodgers, obviously. He went 10 of 17 for only 58% completion percentage. He had 134 yards, 1 touchdown, and those 2 back-to-back interceptions. He also had a fumble, didn't lose it, thankfully. But I mean, back-to-back interceptions trying to win the game. Aaron Rodgers hopefully is a Packer next season, because I don't know if Jordan Love's even ready to go next year with the full second off season under his belt. I don't know. All right, and then in the rushing game, A.J. Dillon was their starting running back. A.J. Dillon, who's their other one? Jamal Williams? That doesn't sound right. No, that's not right. He's on the Lions. Who's Packers starting running back? Why am I blanking on that? But he didn't go. He was not good to go. So they went with A.J. Dillon, and he had a great game, like we know A.J. Dillon can. Once again, I just don't understand. And we're going to talk MVP this week in the show and crown our MVP, but I don't see it with Aaron Rodgers. I truly don't. The running game was fantastic all year, even without their star running back and having to rely on A.J. Dillon. He was getting it done phenomenally. The head coach, the defense here, everybody getting it done. And I just don't get why everybody is now suddenly flipping. It was real weird, folks. It was probably like 3 weeks ago where the flip happened. Everyone was like, oh, Tom Brady deserves MVP. And I was like, yeah, this is right. I was agreeing with that. And then like the following day, everybody flipped to Aaron Rodgers, and it made no sense to us. But we'll talk MVP a little bit later in this week and crown our MVP. I think I'm a little bit leaning toward Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady at the current moment, but we'll talk it all through and talk it all out a little bit later in the week. But yeah, I just can't see Aaron Rodgers because I think out of everybody in the kind of MVP candidate, this was the most collective effort of this great 13-4 year, not just Aaron Rodgers. So, but we'll talk about that a little bit later in the week. Rushing game was fantastic. A.J. Dillon, 14 rushes for 63 yards. Patrick Taylor, 11 rushes for 53 yards and a touchdown. And then who were Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love slinging the ball to? We had Allen Lazard, leading receiver, 5 catches, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josiah Degara, 3 catches, 66 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Adams, 6 catches, 55 yards. Dominique Daphne, 1 catch, 26 yards. Aquanius St. Brown, Amara St. Brown's brother, who's getting it done. 2 catches, 22 yards. Jawan Winfrey, 3 catches for 16 yards. But the Lions get it done at the end of the day. Shout out big time to Dan Campbell. That's really the only main takeaway in this game. A little bit of Amara St. Brown and a ton of Dan Campbell. Love this Lions team heading into next season. Lions get the win 37-30. Alrighty, this game. Here we go. Colts at the Jags, and Colts needed to win to secure their own playoff fate. And what did the Colts do? They went on the road and put up 11 big old points, folks. Was that enough to get the win? Of course not. Jaguars get the biggest upset of the season. And look at some of these teams that the Jaguars have beat. The Bills, the Colts, almost beat the Colts twice, went toe-to-toe in their first matchup. Man, oh man, Colts lose 26-11. Now, do y'all understand? We did a 40-minute segment breaking down Carson Wentz from last week, and we were appalled at what we saw Carson Wentz do. We were like, this is the team, this is the quarterback that everybody says is going to kind of make a run at the Super Bowl. We broke Carson Wentz down, folks. He was not reading anything right. He was literally throwing screen passes into the ground that were 1,000% wide open for, like, at minimum, a 50-yard game. The man has trash reads, folks. He cannot get it done. We saw him exposed last year with the Eagles, 15 interceptions, trash the entire year, and we were a little thrown off by that because, you know, the first 4 years with Carson Wentz, we didn't see anything like that, but this is the true Carson Wentz. What we saw last year is the true Carson Wentz, folks, and everybody was making a big deal about Carson Wentz, not throwing any interceptions or not turning the ball over. Well, it doesn't matter, folks. See, y'all just take the stats, and that's what's so frustrating. You must take the full body of work because, yes, Carson Wentz wasn't really turning over the ball that much, but it wasn't resulting in any kind of crazy record like a 13-3 Packers. Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn over the ball, but he results into big time wins. 13-3 the last, or 13-4 meaningless game. We're really not going to count that loss against the Packers, really. They would have won the game if Aaron Rodgers was out there the entire time. But, the Packers are 13-3. Aaron Rodgers doesn't turn over the ball. Colts are 9-8. Carson Wentz, he doesn't turn over the ball, but he also doesn't score that much. He doesn't lead this team. He's not really the main focal point of the offense. We all know it's Jonathan Taylor. We all know this. MVP candidate, and we'll once again, discuss the MVP a little bit later in the week. But man, oh man, we knew Carson Wentz couldn't play, and now they're not even in the playoffs. So, not a great look with Carson Wentz. You must get rid of him. You can't even give him a second season because we saw him get worse as this season progressed. He was okay in the first couple of games here, because that's what kind of experience brings you at the quarterback position. You can get out to a really hot start, but once teams start figuring you out and have tape on you, Carson Wentz just nosedived the entire kind of second half of the season. It was only Jonathan Taylor in this Colts running game with their defense kind of overlooking all the bad garbage quarterback play with Carson Wentz. We've been trying to point it out to y'all this entire season, and we did it big time last week, and y'all said crappy segment. Y'all said crappy segment on my quote tweet of Carson Wentz being real bad. That's what y'all said about it. Crappy segment. So was this a crappy segment at the end of the day? They lose, they get blown out. They can't beat the Jaguars to secure a playoff spot, folks. Carson Wentz, man, you're done. I would not have Carson Wentz as my quarterback on any team. He's done. He may be a backup, maybe a good serviceable backup here, but he cannot get it done. We'll see what Frank Reich does. He obviously has big attachments to Carson Wentz, and it's going to be tough to just cut him after 1 year, but we'll see what he does. The fact that this Colts team got worse when they went from Phillip Rivers to Carson Wentz, when you went from, an old geezer at a quarterback to somebody a little bit fresher, and you get actively worse and don't make the playoffs this year, that's a real bad sign. Carson Wentz, an absolute big old flounder job last night. So let's break it down. And to make matters worse, we did a bar on Carson Wentz. We set a bar to truly see if we could buy into this Colts team heading into the playoffs. No, we don't have to worry about that because they're not in the playoffs, but this was on our pregame show yesterday. We set a bar for Carson Wentz saying for us to truly buy this Colts team as legit Super Bowl contenders, we needed to see Carson Wentz throw 73 to 75% completion percentage, 320 plus yards, 3 touchdowns plus with no turnovers at all, 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles. Let's see if Carson Wentz achieved that, shall we? Here we go. First thing is completion percentage. We needed to see 73 to 75. Carson Wentz threw the ball 17 of 29. Well, I can tell you right now that is nowhere near 73 to 75%. That is 50. That is 58%, folks. That is so atrocious, folks. So gosh dang atrocious. 58% completion percentage by Carson Wentz in a must-win game to secure your own playoff future. The man went out there and threw 58% against a Jacksonville Jaguars team who did not get any better from the firing of Urban Meyer. Do you see now, folks, why we can never buy Carson Wentz? The man is done. And, talking about Carson Wentz from North Dakota State in the FCS, Trey Lance, a quarterback from North Dakota State in the FCS. And we hated what we saw from Trey Lance when he started last week. They go with Jimmy Garoppolo again and get the big time win. Once again, stop with these FCS quarterbacks. Yes, they may look good, but they are not built for this league longevity-wise. Carson Wentz came out good, and then these last 2 years, absolute garbage, and I don't think he's going to be able to recover from it. So what's your plan with Trey Lance? You already wasted 1 year of him. We see Carson Wentz, you can only be really good from North Dakota State for only 4 years. So Trey Lance, you already just wasted 1 of his years, so you're just going to use him for 3 years, and you have to kind of build him up. So, next season when he finally fully starts, which he shouldn't, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So you're going to go, waste Trey Lance's first year. Second year, he's going to be an official starter, so maybe a little rocky throughout that year. So you're looking like year 3 Trey Lance, and then you only got 2 years with them at that point because they only last 4 years. We just saw North Dakota State win the FCS championship this weekend, folks. So North Dakota State is just good on their own. The quarterbacks are not what make them good. They are the FCS. They're the best team in the FCS consistently. It's not these quarterbacks. You should not be drafting these quarterbacks, okay? They win. The North Dakota State wins without Carson Wentz. They win without Trey Lance. You don't need these quarterbacks. Stop drafting North Dakota State quarterbacks, folks. They're not good. We're back to this game, though. Carson Wentz, absolutely trashed. 58% completion percentage, 185 yards. That's nowhere near 320. He had 1 touchdown. That's nowhere near 3 touchdowns. And he had 1 interception, and we wanted to see 0. So Carson Wentz, a complete and utter big old flounder job. 3 points through 3 quarters. What? Absolutely garbage, folks. Carson Wentz is certified garbage, atrocious garbage, folks. Trash, garbage, atrociously this bad, folks. We are totally off of Carson Wentz heading into this offseason, and it's going to be a long offseason for Carson Wentz, I'll tell you right now. Man, oh man, absolute flounder job. Jonathan Taylor, 15 rushes. There's your problem. Why are we rushing Jonathan Taylor only 15 times? You guys didn't really get down that big, that bad. Yeah, you were down 13-3 going into halftime, but you could still run the ball, especially when that's the best thing about this team. And I absolutely hate that Frank Reich just stopped with the running back by committee, not even using Nyheim Hines in the pass or in the running game at all. Mix it up. They can all run, man. So they just kept getting one-dimensional as the season progressed, and I don't understand it. Or they tried to get one-dimensional with the passing game, when if you were going to get one-dimensional, it should be with the running game. We know this. So, man, oh man, what an absolute flounder job by this Colts team. Everybody involved, but mostly Carson Wentz, truly. So Jonathan Taylor, 15 rushes for 77 yards, fantastic, but once again, the carries are totally light. Who was Carson Wentz throwing the ball to? We had Michael Pittman Jr., leading receiver, 6 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, 2 catches, 39 yards. Mo Alley Cox, 2 catches, 27 yards. So that's exactly what we want to see at the top. Mo Alley Cox, T.Y. Hilton, and Michael Pittman Jr. all at the top 3 of receivers. So that's the only good thing Carson Wentz did the entire game yesterday. But once again, only resulted into 11 points and really kind of an absolute blowout, losing by 15. I mean, that's absolutely trash. So, man, oh man, Carson Wentz also fumbled as well. 2 turnovers by Carson Wentz. Man, oh man. Let's see what these turnovers did. First fumble came on the first drive out of halftime. Carson Wentz with the strip sack. Absolutely trash. Jaguars score 3 points off of it. Then he throws an interception a little bit later in the third quarter, and the Jaguars get a touchdown off of it. 10 points off of turnovers here. Man, oh man. And then all these turnover on downs, folks. What do we get? 4th and goal from the 1. Jonathan Taylor stuffed right up the middle. Damn. Jaguars were on their defense last night. And then another turnover on downs, 4th and 12 at the 41-yard line. Carson Wentz can't complete a 4th and 12. Well, that's kind of granted. But an absolute garbage game for this Colts all throughout. How can they not take advantage of that? Man, oh man, I would have Frank Reich on the hot seat. Some of these coaches that got fired today. Man, oh man, Frank Reich. This is inexcusable, unforgivable, if you will. Jeez. All right, now the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence played his best game of his career last night. Jeez, shout out to, we can knock Carson Wentz. I'm all cool with that. But Trevor Lawrence deserves some mother-loving credit here, folks. Trevor Lawrence, 23 of 32 for a big old 71% completion percentage game. 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. Love to see it. A big-time touchdown off that Carson Wentz interception to truly ice the game going into the fourth quarter, and you absolutely got to respect it. In the running game for the Jaguars, we get Raquel Armstead, 9 rushes for 52 yards. Dare Ugombowale, 11 rushes for 30 yards. And Trevor Lawrence took off 10 times for 17 yards. Who was Trevor Lawrence slinging the ball to? Marvin Jones, leading receiver, 7 catches, 88 yards and a touchdown. Laviska Chenault Jr., 5 catches, 62 yards. Dare Ugombowale, 3 catches, 25 yards. Laquan Treadwell, 3 catches, 24 yards and a touchdown. Jacob Hollister, 3 catches, 14 yards. And Raquel Armstead, 2 catches for 10 yards. So this Jaguars team was clicking on all cylinders. Offensively, defensively. Look at all these sacks. We had Adam Gotis, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. Tyson Campbell, a tackle for loss. Josh Allen, and not the quarterback Josh Allen. Josh Allen, 2 sacks and 2 tackles for losses. Damian Wilson, a sack. We had Malcolm Brown, a sack, a tackle for loss. Dwayne Smoot, a sack, a tackle for loss. Getting all over Carson Wentz. And when you make Carson Wentz uncomfortable, we get this type of game. Absolutely trash. So congratulations to the Jaguars. They win 26-11. And I can guarantee if Urban Meyer was coaching this team week 18, they would not have won this game. Could you imagine what Urban Meyer would be saying to the players in a meaningless week 18 game when he can say whatever the hell he wants to them because he's not going to see them for a while? I'm sure Urban Meyer would have probably gotten fired this week if he did not get fired a couple weeks ago. So Jaguars get the absolute biggest upset of the entire season, 26-11 over the Colts. Alrighty, next game up here, and this is a trash game. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but Washington at the Giants here, and if there's any coach that needs to be fired, it's Joe Judge, and Joe Judge, as of this moment, has not been fired. What? How do you not fire Joe Judge, folks? An absolute embarrassment of a performance yesterday. We thought that Colts performance was bad. This Giants performance was so much worse than that. Uncompetitive. And Joe Judge doubled down, calling out Ron Rivera, kind of calling it a clown organization. He had a quote earlier this week, hey, we're not this isn't some clown show. We don't have fights. We don't have fist fights on our benches, anything like that. And, referencing the time that Washington a couple of weeks ago got into a little bit of a heated argument on their bench, and the two players kind of took a little bit of a swing at each other. But, that's what you get. You get high emotions, tempers flare a little bit when you're competitive. So Joe Judge obviously knows nothing about that. That kind of things just get a little bit heated because everybody just wants to win so gosh dang bad. And the Giants obviously don't do anything like that because we have this picture right here. Second quarter, folks, down 3-0. Giants backed up all the way to their 3-yard line, and they're in a goal line formation like they're about to take a knee, like you're about to take a knee at your own 4-yard line because your offense is so atrocious that you would rather just kind of keep punting instead of throwing interceptions or incompletions. What sense does that make? And this is like the perfect time to just let it all loose and let it fly because who cares? It's the last week of the season. You have nothing to play for. This is a division rival at your home stadium, and you are actively selling, actively kind of throwing in the towel. Who cares if you throw 40 interceptions in this game? Who cares? We'd rather see you at least try instead of actively give up against a division rival. So for that reason alone, Joe Judge should be fired. You play the game, folks. You play until there is no more games to be played, and Joe Judge had zero interest in even playing this game. Could you imagine if Dan Campbell was on this Giants team? The Giants would have probably won 50-0. But no, they've got garbage Joe Judge who can't run a team, who's got garbage coaches under him, and has made absolutely zero progress over the last few seasons that he's been the head coach for this Giants team. So the Giants, Joe Judge, must be fired immediately, but it seems like they're sticking with him. How absolutely ridiculous. We don't need to get into any of these stats because everybody was absolutely trash. Jake Fromm is trash. Jake Fromm needs to be exiled from the league. And then for Washington, we'll shout them out a little bit here. Taylor Heineke, 9 of 18, 50% completion percentage, 120 yards, no touchdown, no pick, no fumbles by Taylor Heineke lost, so I guess that's good. We had Antonio Gibson rushed for 146 yards. We give that man credit. And we had Terry McLaurin receive for 93 yards. But overall, nothing to play for here besides pride. And Ron Rivera got the better of Joe Judge. Absolutely pathetic there by this Giants team. Absolutely pathetic. Washington gets to win 22-7. Alrighty, next game up here is the Bears at the Vikings here, folks, and both of these coaches should be fired, and that's exactly what happened. Both of these coaches and their general managers all got fired. Matt Nagy gone in Chicago. Bears general manager Ryan Pace gone from Chicago. Mike Zimmer, head coach for the Vikings, gone, and the Vikings general manager Rick Spielman gone. So everybody that was basically in this Chicago Vikings game would be kind of, checking your phone every few minutes to see if you're still part of the organization. So Kirk Cousins and company doesn't do anything the entire first half. Only 3 points, can't do anything. And then they light it up in the second half and demolish the Bears. Vikings get the win 31-17. Both of these teams deserve to be fired just off of this performance alone. Matt Nagy, good when the Vikings were trash, and then in the second half when the Vikings caught fire, Matt Nagy couldn't do anything to keep up pace. You need to be gone. And then Mike Zimmer, last final game at home, nothing to play for, and you don't have your team ready to go. 3 points in the first half. What was that? Now you got it going, 21 points in the fourth quarter, but I mean, okay, all right, congratulations. You won Week 18, the very last week of the season, in the very last quarter of the year. Like, are we supposed to be impressed with that you finally got it going then? So of course both of these coaches should be fired. Both of these quarterbacks should be gone. Andy Dalton and Kirk Cousins both should not have a job after this week either, but we'll see how all that happens once they get a new head coach and they decide on the direction to move forward with the team. But Kirk Cousins goes 14 of 22 here. 14 of 22. We get 63% completion percentage, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. All that basically coming in the second half, like we mentioned. Dalvin Cook, 14 rushes, 79 yards. I get rid of him as well. Alexander Mattison, 5 rushes for 18 yards. I build around Alexander Mattison next season. I'm off of Kirk Cousins. I'm off of Dalvin Cook. I keep Justin Jefferson. I keep Alexander Mattison. I keep Adam Thielen. And that's basically it. So who was Kirk Cousins slinging the ball to? We had Justin Jefferson, 5 catches, 107 yards and a touchdown. Amir Smith Marsetti, 3 catches for 103 yards and a touchdown. And then KJ Osborne, 1 catch for 21 yards and a touchdown. And then for this Bears team, Andy Dalton getting his potentially final game in the NFL. It should be his final game. We are so over Andy Dalton, folks. Classic Andy Dalton. Never able to close out anything. Never able to win any meaningful game. And I know this wasn't a meaningful game, but it's the last game of the year, so why don't you go out with a bang? And that's what Andy Dalton never does. Never wins kind of his last game of the season. Always getting, bounced first round of the playoffs. That's his last game of the year. Last game of the year here, can't get it done. So Andy Dalton is just absolutely mediocrity personified in the NFL, and as we know, that does not result into anything meaningful, anything talk-worthy, anything like that. So Andy Dalton, I can't say it's been nice knowing you. It's been knowing you, but I don't know about nice. Andy Dalton, please gracefully exit the league. That's the politest I guess I can get it. So Andy Dalton, 33 of 48. We get 68% completion percentage. Pretty solid there. 325 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Ooh, when did these interceptions come, Andy? Here we go. Andy Dalton's first interception comes fourth quarter, pick 6. His second interception comes on the very next possession, throws an interception. So trying to keep up pace because the Vikings finally showed some life in the second half. Andy Dalton's like, hang on. They're starting to play now. Oh no. Well, I guess I have to start to play now as well. And he throws back-to-back picks, 1 in a pick 6. So Andy Dalton should be his last game. We are keeping our fingers crossed. Like, they should have just cleaned the entire house. They should have said, if you ever wore a Vikings uniform or were associated with the Vikings or the Bears this entire season or at any point this season, don't show up. We're done with everybody. Players, coaches, personnel, everybody. You're done. We're starting 1,000,000,000% brand new here. Both of these teams need to do exactly that. New coaches, new quarterbacks. I think Justin Fields is already done. I think he might be already a little ruined because, of the plan Matt Nagy had here for this Bears team. The magnificent plan for Justin Fields that turned out so well, right? So everybody's just got to be gone. Justin Fields done. Andy Dalton done. Kirk Cousins done. Nick Foles done. Dalvin Cook done. Everybody done in this game. If you were associated with the Bears at Vikings game, you are officially done. Vikings get the win, 31-17. Alrighty, next game up here, Titans at the Texans, and man, oh man, Texans kept it competitive. Down 21-0 in the first half. They go into halftime, make their adjustments, and make it competitive, have the Titans on the rope. Unfortunately, for the Texans, the Titans do pull it out in the end. Shout out to Mike Vrabel. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill for getting clutch as heck. We absolutely love that. Enjoy your week off. But yeah, David Culley, everyone's talking about coaches firing. No, David Culley deserves to go nowhere. Give David Culley, and I think even give Davis Mills this offseason. See what you can do. See what you can kind of acquire. They've had no great weapons this entire year besides Brandon Cooks. That was really it. Danny Amendola exploded onto the scene here, finally here for the Texans. Why they weren't utilizing him more this entire year, I don't know. But they finally got it going here. So yeah, I give David Culley a one more year. He's only had 1 year, so of course I give him another year. That's absolutely crazy to fire David Culley after what he did. Always getting his team right to play, given all the circumstances surrounding this Texans organization. Truly kept to Deshaun Watson, who was really out of the media. Deshaun Watson was really not brought up on a weekly basis, maybe like a monthly basis, like a bi-monthly basis, but nobody was really ever talking about Deshaun Watson this entire year. And for that fact, the entire Texans organization deserves a ton of credit for keeping that negative story out of the media, keeping it out of the locker room here in Houston, and letting this team just go out there without that information and all those kind of surrounding questions over their head, and getting out there and just getting back to the basics of football. So I give David Culley so much credit for the season, and if he gets fired, I think it's absolutely disrespectful as heck. But let's start here with the Texans. Didn't do anything in the first half. I mean, punt. Didn't even attempt any sort of points. But then that second half just clicked. First drive out of halftime, touchdown. Second drive, field goal. Third drive, touchdown. Fourth drive, touchdown. They scored on every single drive out of halftime. Just unfortunately, their defense couldn't get it done. And that Texans offense was like, hey, we got a number 1 seed to play for. And they dug in deep in that fourth quarter. They only put up 7 points in the entire second half, but they got it done when they needed it to. Getting it done. So shout out to this Titans team, folks. Shout out to the Titans for going out and securing the number 1 seed. The job was never finished. They had to play to the very end of the game, and they got it done. So shout out to the Titans, but also big shout out to this Houston Texans team. Now here we go. Davis Mills, a little bit of a struggle in the first half, but got it figured out, folks. And that, hey, a football game is 4 quarters. It doesn't matter when you score or how you score. It matters who put up the most points at the end of the day. And the Texans were gosh dang close to winning this game. Only lost by 3, folks, 28-25. So give credit to this Texans team. Davis Mills, give credit to him as well. But Davis Mills goes 23 of 33 for a real solid 69% completion percentage, 301 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles. Clean game from Davis Mills. Rushing attack definitely needs to kind of be addressed in this offseason. They've had really good running backs on their team all year long. David Johnson. They've had Phillip Lindsay. Rex Burkhead just started to kind of get a little bit of an emergence here, but they never really stuck to one, utilized one. We're trading them, letting them go all throughout the season, all that. So this Texans team, if they can get a decent running back here with Davis Mills, building upon what he kind of laid down in foundation rookie year, I'm liking this Texans team come next year, folks. Don't do anything. Don't get rid of anybody. Just build upon it, folks. All right. So Davis Mills, a great game. Rushing attack, definitely need that. But David Johnson, 5 rushes, 28 yards. Rex Burkhead, 12 rushes for 24 yards. Nothing, fantastic. And then in the receiving game, like we said, Danny Amendola getting emerged here. 7 receptions for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. He may retire this offseason, so you may not have him next year, but damn. Why did it take 18 weeks for you to finally utilize him? We have Nico Collins, 3 catches, 67 yards. Rex Burkhead, 3 catches, 42 yards. Chris Moore, 3 catches, 38 yards and a touchdown. And then Brandon Cooks, only 3 catches for 26 yards, and they were still able to put up 25 points. Pretty impressive here. Texans kept it close in the second half. And then for the Titans, folks, Ryan Tannehill gets pretty gosh dang clutch here. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill, and this could be pretty big here. I mean, Titans, number 1 seed in the AFC, Derrick Henry coming back, a week to rest here, and Ryan Tannehill pulling out a huge clutch performance when everything was going wrong for this Titans offense in the second half, and he pulls through the clutch and wins them the game. This could be a big old turning point for Ryan Tannehill that he may have to kind of recall upon when they get to an AFC championship game and the game's on the line, or even the Super Bowl or anything like that. So the Titans, folks, truly watch out for them throughout the playoffs. No team in the AFC has truly looked great consistently all season long, or even in the back end of the season or anything like that. So the AFC is truly up for grabs here, and it runs through Tennessee. So man, oh man, buckle up, tighten up. Derrick Henry's coming back, folks. Watch out for this Titans team. They may be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So Ryan Tannehill goes 23 of 32. That is 71% completion percentage, 287 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. Man, oh man, game-winning touchdown. Give the man some mother-loving credit. Then in the rushing game, we had Devontae Foreman, 21 rushes for 69 yards, and Dontrell Hilliard, 9 rushes for 57 yards. Another reason why Mike Vrabel deserves Coach of the Year. No Derrick Henry. That was their face of their franchise, their identity on offense. And then they worked around that by bringing in some running backs and getting them ready to go and getting them up to speed here. Running back by committee, over 100 yards rushing. You gotta love it. And you gotta respect it. Mike Vrabel, folks, deserves so much mother-loving credit and definitely deserves to be in the Coach of the Year discussion. Let me quickly go here to the odds for Coach of the Year. Can we get that? They got awards up here. They got awards up here in the NFL on DraftKings. I need to get Coach of the Year lines. Coach of the Year lines. Odds. But they don't have that. Unfortunate. So if he's not, he really should be number 1, but if he's not top 3 in kind of odds according to Vegas, that's just disrespectful. We'll keep an eye on that. So far they are not up for some reason. But here we go. Back to the game here. Tennessee getting it done. Running game was fantastic. Who was Ryan Tannehill slinging the ball to? We had Nick Westbrook-Akeen, 4 catches, 78 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown, 4 catches, 68 yards, a touchdown. Julio Jones, 5 catches, 58 yards, a touchdown. Anthony Firkser, 4 catches, 56 yards, a touchdown. 4 different receivers with 1 touchdown each. Ryan Tannehill slinging the ball, giving it to everybody, spreading the wealth, and you got to respect that again. So much to respect here with the Titans. So much credit to give out. And then Deontay Foreman, 1 catch for 15 yards. So everybody was getting it done for the Titans. Defense got it done in the second half. Offense found a way to get it done in the second half, and that just speaks to coaching, never getting too down upon yourself, building yourself up, getting you right, and then once you had the opportunity to go and win the game, you take full advantage of it. So much credit here for the Titans, folks. Oh my goodness. Do I dare declare them the best team in the AFC? I think I do. Titans are the best team in the AFC, folks. Yes, they're the number 1 seed, so yeah, but overall, just coach and just circumstance and how well they just fit together, and would they always just come through. When Derrick Henry went down, we thought it was game over for the Titans, but fools on us, they just kept getting it done and finding ways to get it done, and they got it done, and they won games, and now they're the number 1 seed in the AFC without having Derrick Henry for the final 10 weeks of the season. Man, oh man, big time credit here for the Titans. Big time here for Mike Vrabel and everybody on this Titans team. Titans get the big ol' win, 28-25. Alrighty, next game up, and man, oh man, was this an absolute chore to watch. Steelers at the Ravens. Ravens without no Lamar Jackson, so, we don't get any big-time plays. Tyler Huntley did okay, did not look good, was probably his worst performance that we've seen by him so far, unfortunately. And then Big Ben, who can't move the ball to save his life, who can't throw more than 3 yards to save his life, and now, because of that garbage Colts team and Carson Wentz being absolutely atrocious, we have to watch this Steelers offense one more week, and hopefully only one more week. They have to face the Chiefs, so it should be done and over with, but the fact that we have to watch this Steelers team and this Steelers offense play football for one more week, I will never forgive Frank Reich. I will never forgive Carson Wentz. I will never forgive this Colts team. I have to watch one of the most pathetic offenses in the game of the NFL. I would rather watch Davis Mills in the playoffs. I would rather watch Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs. I would rather watch, no, I'm not going to go that far. I was going to say I would rather watch the Giants and Joe Judge in the playoffs, but I think that's the one team that is actually worse than the Steelers offense overall. So, once again, I'm not trying to knock Big Ben or disrespect Big Ben, but we all know his time's done. He knows his time's done. He stayed 1 year too late. He deserved to stay 1 year too late. I get it. Multiple Super Bowl winning quarterback. He deserves his roses. He deserves his dues. I get it, but optically, it's a pain in the butt to watch this offense in, go out, don't move the ball. Big Ben throwing ducks the entire game, all low, all looking like they're going to go big bombs, but then go 4 yards and just keep declining and declining. So it is an absolute chore to watch Big Ben throw the ball. And alrighty, let's talk about some stats here with Big Ben. Let's count these stats here. Big Ben threw 30 of 44 last night, folks. So completion percentage is at 68%, but it was wink and wonk again, folks. The wink and wonk came out of Big Ben last night. 30 completions for 244 yards. He had a touchdown. He also added an interception. Didn't fumble any. I guess that's a pretty good silver lining, but threw an interception off of a Tyler Huntley interception, which resulted into a Ravens turnover on down. So luckily for the Steelers, it resulted into no points because it would have been tough to overcome any points given up on that interception. Rushing game was really kind of non-existent either. Najee Harris a little banged up in this game. Wasn't even the leading rusher. How unfortunate there. Chase Claypool got 3 rushes for 33 yards. A little bit of end arounds a little bit. Najee Harris 11 rushes for 28 yards. Benny Snell 12 rushes for 22 yards. So not having Najee Harris potentially 100% going into the playoffs. Focusing truly on just Big Ben. Oh man, it's gonna be something. Take the Chiefs right now. Whatever the points are, swallow it. I know we haven't predicted and reacted to any lines yet for the wild card round, but whatever the value is, swallow it with the Chiefs, get it done and over with. We're done with the Steelers. We will be betting against them absolutely in the playoffs. All right, and then who was Big Ben slinging the ball to? We had Pat Freiermuth. Shout out to Tight End University, 6 catches for 53 yards. Deontay Johnson, 7 catches, 51 yards. Zach Gentry, 4 catches, 39 yards. Ray McLeod, 4 catches, 37 yards. Chase Claypool, 5 catches, 37 yards and a touchdown. And Najee Harris, 4 catches for 27 yards. So Big Ben winking and wonking all over the field, somehow got it done on the road. Mostly it was their defense. Shout out to the Steelers defense for truly getting it done. We had Cameron Hayward, a sack and 2 tackle for losses. Arthur Mollett, 1 tackle for loss. Chris Wormley, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. TJ Watt, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. So getting all over Tyler Huntley and not letting him be comfortable, not letting him run all over him. And that was really the main difference here. And that's what we kind of talked about heading into this game and taking the Steelers with the points and all that, because we could rely on the Steelers defense to go, balls to the wall for Big Ben. And that's exactly what they did last night. And luckily they did it because, they only put up 16 points. So, Tyler Huntley now, and this is why you need Lamar Jackson, and this is why Tyler Huntley isn't as good as Lamar Jackson, or you can get rid of Lamar Jackson and just go with Tyler Huntley now. No. Tyler Huntley has no clutch bone in his body, where Lamar Jackson, every single one of the bones in his body are just clutch bones, folks. He gets it done in the big spots, even when everything else is going bad, when he's having a bad game, when the entire team is having a bad game, and the entire defense is giving up tons of points, and the opposing team is answering every score that Lamar Jackson put up. Lamar Jackson always finds the way to get it done in the clutch, where Tyler Huntley doesn't. So yes, Tyler Huntley is not better than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a one of a kind. So Ravens still should be sticking with Lamar Jackson. Unfortunately, a little bit of a bone bruise. That's kind of what it is officially coming out as. Now that the Ravens are officially out and all that, Lamar Jackson has been suffering a bone bruise over the last couple of weeks, of why he's been kind of sidelined. So unfortunate there. Hopefully he can get right for next year. But here we go. Tyler Huntley goes 16 of 31. Absolutely bad right there. 51% completion percentage, 141 yards, dink and dunk, no touchdown, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. The fumble came on the first drive, resulted into 3 points for the Steelers. The first interception, resulted into an interception by the Steelers, so no points there. And then the second interception comes at the end of the third quarter, and it results into 0 points. It results in a punt by the Steelers. So 3 points given up on 3 turnovers. That was the game right there. You lose by 3. It's unfortunate. And then in the running game, that's what the Ravens do best. Latavius Murray, 16 rushes for 150 yards and a touchdown. Tyler Huntley, 12 rushes for 72 yards. And then Deontay Freeman, 5 rushes for 21 yards. Kept it decently close. That's how they moved the ball, just rushing it. Just unfortunately could not get it done. That to one fumble, unfortunately killed them. And then who are they throwing the ball to? Mark Andrews, leading receiver, no surprise there. 8 catches, 85 yards. Marquise Brown, 7 targets, 3 catches. He was trash all game long. You got to move off of Marquise Brown. He's another person that is absolutely unclutch as heck. He's got to go. 3 catches for 27 yards on 7 targets. Rashad Bateman, 2 catches for 22 yards. And that was really the only meaningful receivers yesterday for the Ravens. So, Ravens just need Lamar Jackson back. That's what hurt them. They lost the last 6 games of the season. How crazy is that? They were 8-2 at one point, 8-3 at one point, and then just lost out for the season. Man, oh man, Lamar Jackson, truly unfortunate there. Couldn't overcome that loss. And the Steelers, somehow, the Big Ben final ride lasts one more week, and I swear to goodness, Chiefs, if you do not take care of business this week and get rid of the Steelers, and we have to watch the Steelers for one more week, I might boycott the NFL. I cannot take another game of having to watch and endure a Steelers Big Ben led offense. I don't know if I can do 1 or 2 more weeks, folks. I may not even watch the game against the Chiefs. I may have to just have somebody tell me about it because or just watch the Chiefs offense because I cannot stomach this Big Ben offense anymore, folks. Truly, it's that bad. But Steelers get the win, 16-13. Big Ben's farewell tour continues. All right, then we get the Bengals at the Browns. Don't need to talk about this game. Meaningless game. They didn't even show it on NFL Red Zone because it was that bad. Nobody cared. Brandon Allen played for the Bengals. 136 yards, touchdown. Case Keenum played for the Browns, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Browns get the win, 21-16. Absolutely meaningless game. We'll see the Bengals in the playoffs, but we won't see the Browns, unfortunately. Alrighty, let's skip to the next matchup here. 49ers at the Rams, and 49ers get it done. Jimmy G gets it done. Yes, they struggled a little bit in the first half, got down 17-3 going into halftime, but Jimmy G and company finds a way to get it done, rallies off a couple of points, and ends up winning 27-24. Big ol' throws here by Jimmy Garoppolo on their final drive of the game. They go in overtime. They go 14 plays, 79 yards, 7 minutes in overtime to get the go-ahead field goal. The touchdown in regulation, another clutch drive by Jimmy Garoppolo, goes 7 plays, 83 yards in just a minute to tie up the game with a touchdown. Jimmy Garoppolo being clutch, and once again, why is there so much controversy over the starting quarterback here for the 49ers? It's Jimmy Garoppolo, and it really only should be Jimmy Garoppolo, and it should be Jimmy Garoppolo next season. Trey Lance has looked absolutely garbage this season, does not seem ready to play, and Jimmy Garoppolo is just a winner, folks, and y'all hate winners. It is so frustrating. Some of these quarterback performances don't look the prettiest. They don't always look like Aaron Rodgers at the end of the day, but they result into wins. Jimmy G is a winner. And folks, this fan puts it exactly what every 49ers fan always says, or just what they always do, folks. They give Jimmy Garoppolo absolutely no credit because they just kind of harp and stick on the negative aspects of Jimmy Garoppolo and then just kind of talk that up as his entire body of work. And I see y'all. Do y'all not understand that I see y'all? So when I say things of, hey, this is what y'all say, this is what y'all are seeing, this is what we're saying, and kind of how we're telling you, hey, you're a little bit wrong sometimes. I see y'all. I see what y'all say. I see what y'all write. I see y'all. This is why it's called Takes by Fans, because I see what y'all say. And this is exactly what the entire 49ers fan base thinks of Jimmy Garoppolo, and it's about to give y'all Trey Lance, and he's absolutely garbage, which for some reason the 49ers want. But this is exactly every single week of why the overall optics on Jimmy Garoppolo are negative. It's right here, folks. This guy says it perfectly. He admits it. I don't know why you would admit this, but this is exactly what he admitted, and this is exactly what the 49ers fan base is, folks. It's got 7,000 likes. It's got 823 retweets, because this is what the collective 49ers fan base thinks, and this is why they don't want Jimmy Garoppolo, because of this right here. Ready? Listen to this tweet. Listen to this tweet. Here he goes. I called for Trey Lance to come in late in the second quarter when down 17-0. Jimmy G made me eat my words. I got nothing but mad respect for Jimmy after he gutted it out and he led the charge on the game-tying and winning drives. Alrighty, yes, you're giving praise to Jimmy Garoppolo, but then next week it's the same thing over again, where the 49ers may get down, maybe 3, 7, 10 points, something like that. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo has a first quarter or first half turnover, and then every 49ers fan is like, Jimmy Garoppolo's trash. He's trash. He's trash. He's trash. He's trash. He shouldn't be the quarterback. When's Trey Lance starting? Put Trey Lance in. Trey Lance is our future. We drafted him so high. He's got to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo. Why are you not playing Trey Lance? Kyle Shanahan, get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. You must trade him because you keep wanting to bring him in. But this is the thinking of the 49ers fan base. They clown Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo ends up winning, and then they don't kind of refix their thinking. They don't kind of retool their thinking and be like, all right, they're right back at it of just Jimmy Garoppolo's trash because he couldn't win the first quarter. Jimmy Garoppolo's trash because he threw an interception in the second quarter, but then made up for it in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, being absolutely clutch, getting it done in the last drive of the fourth quarter, getting it done in the overtime period. Y'all hate winners. Y'all just want like perfect, clean as heck Aaron Rodgers mixed with Tom Brady mixed with Drew Brees stats that don't care about winning. These are winners. Tua's a winner. Jimmy Garoppolo is a winner. They get it done. Yes, they may just have one bad series or a bad quarter, maybe even a bad half, gosh forbid. But when the game's on the line, when they have an opportunity to go and come back or to win the game or force overtime or whatever it is, they always, for the most part, not 100% because nobody's 100%, but I mean a good 80%, they will always keep you in the game. They will always have the ball, with the chance to win or tie the game. Ball in their hands, last possession of the game, like a Lamar Jackson, always in it, great quarterback play, always in the game. This 49ers fan base, folks, clowning Jimmy Garoppolo for no reason. Trey Lance is not good, folks. We just watched his debut performance. What was it, last week? We broke it down on the show. Folks, we went 40 minutes on Carson Wentz, and we told y'all he was absolutely trash. What did we see this week? Absolutely trash. We know what we're talking about a little bit here, and the 49ers are about to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo because their fan base is clamoring over Trey Lance for some gosh dang reason. Stop it with the nonsense, folks. I'm here to put the foot down on the Jimmy Garoppolo nonsense. The man is a winner at the quarterback position. Does he make some mistakes here and there? Yes. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions in the NFC Championship game. Okay, I do not care. People make mistakes. Do you do it consistently? Do you overcome those mistakes? Are you a winner? And Jimmy Garoppolo checks the boxes of all those, folks. He gets it done. Stop with this nonsense of Jimmy Garoppolo. You guys are admitting that you are just taking one half of football and making up your mind and then just sticking to that. That's what, kind of overall the national media does, just in general, a general umbrella. That's not what we do here, folks. Do y'all not see what we put in our Twitter bio? Sports narratives change, get more clear every day. We stay on top of them. We know things change. Every game is an opportunity to see potentially something bad that's kind of been going on, something good that may start from this moment on, and you've got to take the full body of work. You can't just focus on one play or one drive or one half or one quarter or one game or, a 2-week stretch or a 4-week stretch. You've got to take the embodiment of the work, and Jimmy Garoppolo gets it done, folks. Gets it done. Stop with the slander of Jimmy G, folks. Clutch as heck. Gets it done. Wins games. Big time games. Secured his own playoff destiny where the Colts and Carson Wentz couldn't even do that themselves. So if you want to pick on a quarterback, pick on Carson Wentz, because that man is absolutely garbage. He needs a backup. He needs a rookie to replace him, not Jimmy Garoppolo with Trey Lance, okay? All right, back to this game here. Here we go. Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers get the win, 27-24. Jimmy Garoppolo, clutch as heck. Jimmy Garoppolo, y'all ready? Jimmy Garoppolo, 23 of 32. Fantastic, 71%, 316 yards, 1 interception. He did have those 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions, first interception comes in the second quarter. Defense gets it done, allows no points off of it. Second interception comes in the fourth quarter, and they do give up 7 points. But what does he do after that interception? He goes down and gets a touchdown to make up for that mistake. Same thing with Tua a little bit. Gets it done. Winning quarterback. That's what I care most about. Are you getting the wins? Alrighty, yes. Then we can take the next step. And that's, stats and all that. And so far, Jimmy Garoppolo and Tua overall have great stats because they're getting wins. They may have, like I said, a bad quarter or maybe a bad half here or there. Makes a boneheaded play here and there. But so does everybody else. Tom Brady, 3 interceptions in the NFC Championship game. Could you imagine if Jimmy Garoppolo did that? Could you imagine if Tua ever did that? Okay, folks, and what did Tom Brady do? He won the Super Bowl off of that performance. So, I don't know what to tell y'all. I don't know what to tell y'all anymore. Alrighty. Jimmy Garoppolo, great night. Elijah Mitchell in the rushing game, 21 rushes, 85 yards. Deebo Samuel, 8 rushes for 45 yards and a touchdown, able to get it done. And then who was Jimmy Garoppolo slinging the ball to? We had Brandon Ayuk, 6 catches for 107 yards. Deebo Samuel, 4 catches, 95 yards. Juwan Jennings, 6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, and Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, he threw for 300 plus yards, but he also almost had 3 receivers with 3 receivers with 100 receiving yards each. Do you know how crazy that is in a game? I mean, folks, give Jimmy Garoppolo some mother-loving credit. I don't understand at all. Trey Lance is 0% better than Jimmy Garoppolo, folks. 0%. The man is -%. Trey Lance, folks, is -50,000% worse, or should I say better, than Jimmy Garoppolo, okay? Stop it with the Trey Lance. Please stop. All right, Trey Lance is garbage. I'm here to officially certify Trey Lance as absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. All right, and then the Rams. Matthew Stafford trying to win this game. They were out there, full starters the entire game, trying to win it. So not a great look here for the Rams. And we're going to have to focus in on this Rams team as we progress through this week to truly see, are they Super Bowl contenders or Super Bowl pretenders? We got to get that in before, obviously, the playoffs start this weekend. So we will try to fit that in the show. But Matthew Stafford, folks, Matthew Stafford goes 21 of 32 for 65% completion percentage, 238 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 2 interceptions. First interception by Matthew Stafford comes in the third quarter, results in 0 points by the 49ers. But his second interception came in overtime when they were just trying to win the game. 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. Matthew Stafford trying to hit OBJ, throws the ball, and that is an interception. Game over. 49ers win. So y'all love Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford threw an interception in overtime. Did Jimmy Garoppolo do that? No, because Jimmy Garoppolo won the game. He's a winning quarterback, where Matthew Stafford still a little bit of it figuring out, can he get it done as a winning quarterback? It seems like so, yes, this season, but he's got a lot of talent. You give Jimmy Garoppolo all this talent, I think Jimmy Garoppolo goes 12-5 as well. So I just don't understand y'all's clownery of Jimmy Garoppolo. That's really it. I just don't understand the clownery. Y'all are admitting it's clownery. I see the tweet right here. It's right in front of our face. We just read it to y'all. I just don't get the clownery. So Matthew Stafford little bit of a worse game than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo gets it done. Sony Michel in the rushing game, 21 rushes, but only for 43 yards. So shout out to the 49ers defense of shutting down this run game 100%. And then who was Matthew Stafford slinging the ball to? Usual suspect at the top, Cooper Kupp, 7 catches for 118 yards, a touchdown. Tyler Higbee, 6 catches, 55 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Javon Jefferson, 2 catches, 31 yards. OBJ, 2 catches, 18 yards. And Cam Akers, 3 catches for 10 yards. 49ers get the big ol' win here, 27-24, secured their playoff spot. Jimmy Garoppolo deserves a little bit more respect from y'all, a little bit more respect. Alrighty, next game up here is one of our favorite matchups of the week to talk about. Our sponsors, folks, the Carolina Panthers. Final opportunity was this week to cash in on our sponsors. Betting against the Carolina Panthers, folks. Ever since Cam Newton got there, folks, the Panthers have been sponsoring Takes by Fans. They've been giving us so much money, folks, because we've been betting against them on the spread line, all that. And once again, another week, our sponsor pays out big time. And I've been trying to pass down the money that the sponsors give me. I've been trying to pass that down to y'all, telling you about our sponsorship deal that we have about the Panthers, telling you, informing you about the pick. Shout out to the New Yorkers, that can now bet legally, mobily, because of this weekend, and everybody was giving out tons of free play and money. And, shout out to, brother of Takes by Fans out here who's like, let me ask, my brother, who's got, a talk show that talks sports, who knows sports. And I told him, the bet of, Bucks only -8, -8.5. And, I gave him that advice. So he took that advice and he made a little coin off of it, folks. I don't know what you want from me. I give y'all the information. The information's already out there, folks, and it's proven. It's got that proven track record. I'm proven, folks. I don't know what to tell y'all. But the Bucks, once again, dominate the Panthers. Panthers are trash. They've been trash. Yes, they scored on their opening possession. That's the only thing that they do good, and then they just flounder for the rest of the game. Sam Darnold can't get it done on the clutch drives. 4th and 6, turnover on downs, incomplete by Matthew Stafford, Sam Darnold. And then on 4th and 1 at the Tampa Bay 2, Sam Darnold, QB sneak up the middle, can't even get a yard, turnover on downs. So trash all around here. Matt Rule needs to be fired, but Matt Rule is not fired yet. So I don't understand what's going on with that. You fire Brian Flores, and we still have to get to that, but you don't fire Matt Rule? What the hell is going on in the NFL? Matt Rule needs to be fired immediately, but we know that's not going to happen because I don't know. I don't know the reason why Matt Rule's not being fired, but he should be. Garbage coach. He loves to point the finger, gets rid of everybody, has nothing, has built nothing here in Carolina. This man has built nothing over 2 years. Not a win, not a culture, not a foundation, no pieces, offensive coordinators, no coaches, no pieces, no quarterback, no receivers, no running back. He's got nothing to show for 2 years, and he's going into year 3 thinking everything's going to come together. Good luck, Matt Rule. Absolutely trash. So Sam Darnold goes 29 of 42, and can we officially be done with Sam Darnold? Y'all are knocking Jimmy Garoppolo, but love to talk about Sam Darnold. What is going on with that? So once again, folks, I see what y'all say. I see y'all, and sometimes y'all just don't make sense. But okay, here we go. Sam Darnold, trash. 29 of 42. 69% completion percentage, but on an absolute dink and dunk game. 29 completions for 219 yards. Absolutely trash. 2 touchdowns, an interception. He fumbled. Trash. Got denied on a QB sneak for 1 yard. Trash. So his first turnover comes in the 4th quarter. Fumble leads to 3 points by the Bucks, and then the interception leads to a missed field goal in the 4th quarter as well. So trying to come back, trying to do something. They don't cover the spread. They're not competitive. Absolutely trash here by this Panthers team. Big old trash here. Everybody needs to be let go. Sam Darnold, Matt Rule, everybody. Clean house. Cam Newton especially. And we got a quote here by Cam Newton, which I don't understand what the hell this man's talking about. Cam Newton says, quote, "At this point forward, I'm not coming back for no 5-12. Being the starter or not, if it's not about winning with it." So, yeah, but Cam Newton, you're the reason why they would go 5-12. Whatever team you go on, the best they would do is 5-12. You're the reason why they wouldn't win games. It's not the organization. It's you, Cam Newton. You're not the guy anymore. You're donezo. We've seen it. We know it. Stop it. Cam Newton, just fade into oblivion. You've got your fans. You've got your kind of, decent history in the NFL. You got to the Super Bowl. You won an MVP. That's pretty gosh dang good. So just take that, be humble a little bit, fall back, fade into oblivion, retire, and take all of the great fandom that your fans give you for your service in the NFL. So everybody just needs to be gone here. Cam Newton, please do not come back anywhere. Any team should not take Cam Newton. And we knew no team wanted Cam Newton besides Matt Rule. So what does that tell you about Matt Rule? So once again, Matt Rule needs to be fired. Cam Newton needs to be gone. Sam Darnold needs to be exiled from the league. All right, rushing attack here for the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard, 9 rushes, 48 yards. Amir Abdullah, 7 rushes, 26 yards. Sam Darnold took off 8 times for 19 yards. And DJ Moore, 1 rush for 13 yards. Who was Sam Darnold slinging the ball to? We had DJ Moore, 7 receptions, 87 yards. Amir Abdullah, 9 catches for 56 yards. Robbie Anderson, 7 catches, 50 yards, a touchdown. CJ Saunders, 2 catches for 11 yards. Alrighty, now let's talk about this Bucs team getting it done at home, winning their last game. Their playoff seeding is now the 2nd seed, so that's pretty good. They have to face the Eagles round 1, so that's probably the Bucs' most favorable opponent is probably the Eagles first round. So shout out to the Bucs for getting it done, taking care of business, put up 41 points. Tom Brady does his Tom Brady thing, slings the ball 29 of 37 out here. 78% completion percentage, absolutely fantastic. 326 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no fumbles here. I think he kind of wrapped up MVP off of this performance. We get Scotty Miller, leading rusher, 2 carries for 43 yards and a touchdown. Keyshawn Vaughn, 10 rushes for 29 yards and a touchdown. And then Le'Veon Bell, 3 rushes for 14 yards. They need Leonard Fournette back. Hopefully they can get him back in time decently for the playoffs. I believe he's on IR, so maybe tough to come back this week. But if they can get Leonard Fournette back, that will definitely help out the rushing game, obviously. All right, and then Tom Brady, leading receiver, Rob Gronkowski, 7 catches for 137 yards. Mike Evans, 6 catches, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Brashad Perryman, 5 catches, 44 yards. Tyler Johnson, 5 catches, 22 yards. Cameron Brate, 2 catches, 12 yards. Keyshawn Vaughn, 2 catches, 12 yards. So, once again, Antonio Brown, if, he made the big stink of not, kind of getting played and throwing the ball to last week to hit all of his incentives for, a bigger payday. This is why it just doesn't make sense to us, because they were still going to be like this week. So you could have gotten all that production for your incentives this week. You had 2 games to do it. Mike Evans, 6 catches, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rob Gronkowski, 7 catches, 137 yards. There were yards to be had, Antonio Brown. So the whole thing is just not adding up in my evaluation. It just doesn't make sense, but obviously we know the CTE must play into it at some point. So Bucs get the win, 41-17. Tom Brady wrapped up MVP. Matt Rule should be fired. All right, then we get the Seahawks at the Cardinals. Seahawks get the win 38-30. We're not going to spend too much time on this game. A little bit of a bad performance here by the Cardinals of losing yet another game out here. So this is not good for this Cardinals team heading into the playoffs. They played all their starters, Kyler Murray, AJ Green, a ton of drops. This is starting to be jarring and glaring here. So, for this Cardinals team, the fact that they faced the Rams week 1, this is not good in that playoff spot, that wild card game. So, Cardinals, man, Cliff Kingsbury, you better figure out one hell of a game plan to get it done, because this is going to be a tough week 1 matchup. Cardinals lose here 38-3. Shout out to the Seahawks. Shout out to Russell Wilson winning their final game. We'll see what happens with Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll this offseason. Pete Carroll's job is safe for the most part. Hasn't been fired yet. He says he's feeling confident that he's going to stay a Seahawk. So it's going to come down to Russell Wilson, who's under contract and I believe has a no-trade clause. So we'll see how that works out. But the Seahawks win their final game of the season 38-30. Alrighty, now the Patriots at the Dolphins here. And yeah, the Dolphins get the win, which is a great story to talk about. Dolphins win 33-24. Patriots can't win their last game of the season. Tua, not the greatest performance, only 15 of 22 for only 109 yards. Duke Johnson is probably going to be the future here of Miami at the running back position. 25 rushes for 117 yards and a touchdown. Shout out to Phillip Lindsay, 11 rushes for 40 yards as well. But obviously the bigger news here is that The Dolphins have fired Brian Flores, and now Twitter and social media is in a big ol' uproar. Now, a lot to unpack here with the decision to fire Brian Flores because nobody saw it coming. I didn't even see it coming. Did I want Brian Flores fired? I like Brian Flores. The man is a smart mind in the NFL. Great defensive mind. One of the best defensive minds, I would say, probably in all of the current NFL. Now, we ran into some issues here with Brian Flores at the head coach because Brian Flores being the head coach, folks, the offense was always a second thought, an afterthought about this Dolphins team. Brian Flores was just focusing 1,000% on the defense, and that was showing the entire year, folks. The offense always such lackluster here for the Dolphins. No support of Tua, no kind of, support or just kind of encouragement of Tua, the Deshaun Watson kind of, rumors all year long. Brian Flores never putting that to rest, never putting that to bed. So it truly seemed like Brian Flores did not really want Tua here. And when Tua's kind of so far the face of the franchise, getting it done with that deadly accuracy, at some point, the owners and the general manager maybe not seeing eye to eye the direction that Brian Flores wants to take this team, because it did seem like Brian Flores did not want Tua to be the quarterback for this Dolphins team. So, Brian Flores, I want this man to be the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, definitely, but that's not going to happen. I don't think Brian Flores is a head coach in this league, folks. I mean, it's really hard to be a defensive-minded head coach and be great as a head coach. It's really tough. I mean, even just kind of look at, who's these, who the playoff teams are this year. We get the Tennessee Titans, the number 1 seed, Mike Vrabel, a little bit of a defensive-minded head coach, a little bit of the exception to the rule here, him and Bill Belichick. But the one thing about this Tennessee Titans team is the offense was never an afterthought, a second thought. Mike Vrabel was actively helping out the running game when Derrick Henry went out. Could you imagine if, Tua went down for the Dolphins? I mean, the offense, Brian Flores wouldn't give a damn about it. He'd be like, okay, so throw Jacoby Brissett out there. He could get it done. He could do the same things Tua could do. No problem. Easy peasy. And don't worry, because the defense will take care of whatever the offense doesn't. And we know that's not the case because they started the season 1-7. And then we get Andy Reid with the Chiefs, offensive-minded head coach. Sean McDermott with the Bills. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's not that impressive to us anyway. This Bills offense was still struggling last week. The Bengals with Zach Taylor, offensive-minded head coach. Look at what this Bengals offense has been doing. The Raiders, Rich Bisaccia is really, just a fill-in for the coach, but they still got Derek Carr. Derek Carr taking you to the Super Bowl. Or at least the playoffs as of right now. The Patriots, obviously Bill Belichick is the exception to the rule for everything. And then Mike Tomlin for the Steelers. The offense is really bad there. Once again, Mike Tomlin, a little bit of defensive minded, but the offense is severely lacking, obviously with Big Ben. And then in the NFC, Packers, Matt LaFleur, offensive minded head coach. Bruce Arians, a little bit of a hybrid defensive, offensive, but you got Tom Brady. So does that really count? Dallas, Mike McCarthy, offensive minded head coach. Sean McVay for the Rams, offensive-minded head coach. Cliff Kingsbury, offensive-minded head coach. For the 49ers, we get, what's-his-face? Kyle Shanahan, offensive-minded head coach. For the Eagles, offensive-minded head coach, and Nick Sirianni. So it's like, what do we got? 1, 2, everybody in the NFC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I won't count Bruce Arians 100%. We'll leave him out just for the numbers. So 6 in the NFC. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the AFC. So we got 10 out of the 14 teams in the playoffs all have offensive-minded head coaches. So Brian Flores, I don't think he deserved to be fired. That win over New England, I mean, he beats New England. That's real hard to do, and he gets it done. So I don't understand the only reason why it would make sense to fire Brian Flores is that he wanted to move off of Tua and nobody else did. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. There's no real kind of concrete information. Everyone's just kind of saying, oh, thanks for the time, no hard feelings, thanks for the time. I mean, we get these tweets here that we can maybe try to decipher a little bit. Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, says, quote, different people rub people different ways. I had to look at it in what it is, totality, and its whole totality. So once again, hey, different people rub people the wrong way. Brian Flores, maybe with Tua and Chris Greer, the general manager, just not all seeing eye to eye. And then their elevator, the Dolphins always put an image from their last game on their elevator for the week, and they put Tua. Tua had a lot of swagger. He was running the ball a lot here and throwing up some first down signals, and I love that from the kid. It was fantastic to watch. So once again, maybe Tua kind of knew Brian Flores was on his way out, was feeling good this game. This was the most I've seen Tua run and the fastest I've seen Tua run all year long. Tua 5 rushes for 38 yards, and we've been saying all season long, I don't want even Tua to even think about running the ball. And here he is, looking kind of free, playing loose, and playing really good running the ball. So Tua's on the elevator this morning. Brian Flores is out. And then we get this. This is unconfirmed source here on Twitter, but we get this tweet right here. Tua and Flores had major words post-Titans game, per sources, and they said that they heard Tua dropped a rare F-bomb towards Flores, and now Flores is out. So that's really what it's truly seeming like. Brian Flores didn't want Tua. Everybody else in the organization did. So they decided to get rid of Brian Flores and ride with Tua. And I would say that's the right decision. Tua over Brian Flores. Brian Flores is a great defensive mind, but it's hard to stay great at defense in this league. It's one of the hardest things to probably replicate. Great defense year in and year out. So Brian Flores deserves to be a defensive coordinator anywhere. I wouldn't really see him I don't want this dude as a head coach, folks. We've been saying this all year long. I don't think he is kind of head coach material. And, once again, going back to our kind of our segment that we did last week of just stop trying to be the guy. Not everybody is the guy. Build something. And NFL teams don't get credit. Super Bowl champions don't get credit for one guy. It's everybody. Yes, everybody kind of likes to kind of give it to, the head coach and the quarterback as kind of the main duo, but it's still everybody else putting in the work to earn that Super Bowl ring, trophy, all that. So just stop having to be the guy. You don't have to be the guy. You can be a piece of what makes the whole machine run. Be the great defensive coordinator like Dan Quinn now in Dallas. He has rejuvenated his career because he wasn't a good head coach, but now that he's a defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, they're back to winning, the NFC East and all that, and having a home playoff game because of why did I just blank out his name? Because of, the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys. Why am I blanking on the name? How frustrating is that? So stop trying to have to be the guy. Brian Flores, just be a defensive coordinator. And hopefully the Dolphins would be like, hey, or hopefully the Dolphins said, hey, do you want to be a defensive coordinator for us? We're going to fire you from head coach, but do you want to step down and be the defensive coordinator? Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, great defensive mind. I don't want him as a head coach. So that's what the Dolphins did. Now, looking for a replacement for the Dolphins, I would like to see Doug Peterson. We've been wanting to see Doug Peterson back in this league ever since he left last year. So we'll see who the Dolphins decide to get at head coach. It better not be Urban Meyer. I'll just say that. But Dolphins get the win 33-24. Patriots lose their last game of the year. Unfortunate. All right, last couple of games. We get Saints at the Falcons. Nothing really to talk about here. Saints win, but 49ers win also. So the Saints, unfortunately, cannot get in the playoffs. Falcons could not win at home on their final game of the year. Once again, Matt Ryan cannot get it done. Then we get the Jets at the Bills, and here we go. Robert Saleh, a little bit of a fraud here. You get blown out. We took you plus 16.5. You lose by 17. Couldn't even be competitive. No Braxton Berrios, and once again, why we want Braxton Berrios to be the main focal point for this Jets offense moving into next season. Jets offense was clicking, being competitive, putting up points throughout the entirety of the game. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, consistently over like 3-4 games with Braxton Berrios, his emergence here. And then the one game that they don't have Braxton Berrios, they get blown out by 17 points. They could barely move the ball at all, and they only put up 10 points. So Braxton Berrios is the answer for the Jets. We'll see if they beef it up in the, if they beef it in the offseason by getting rid of Braxton Berrios or not utilizing Braxton Berrios or whatever it is. But Robert Saleh, we're kind of heading into this offseason labeling him as a fraud for not being competitive against this Bills team. They were only competitive against this Bills team a little bit defensively, a little bit because it was windy, and a lot of it because the Bills offense, once again, is just lackluster overall. Still not being that consistent or that great. They got it done in the fourth quarter in clutch time, and that's kind of what we know about this Bills team. The best thing about this Bills team is that they usually do get it done in the clutch when the time kind of truly runs out for them to kind of stop dicking around a little bit. They just get it done. I don't know what it is, Josh Allen play calling, but they just get it done usually in the clutch. The best thing about the Bills. But overall, 10 points first quarter, 3 points second quarter, no points third quarter, and then that big old emergence of 14 points in the fourth quarter. And, the Jets, once again, cannot move the ball. So Bills get the win 27-10, wrap up the AFC East. Robert Saleh we have as frauds heading into next season, not as good as Dan Campbell, and Braxton Berrios should be the main focal point of the Jets offense come next season. Bills get the win 27-10, and then the final game of the night, one of the best games of all year long, kind of a little cheesy, but overall still entertaining nonetheless. Raiders and Chargers, and the Raiders get it done in overtime. Chargers down in the fourth quarter, and man, oh man, Justin Herbert clutch as hell, fourth down conversions over and over and over and over and over again. Final two drives, having to drive 16 plays, 75 yards, resulted into a touchdown, multiple fourth down attempts. And then the second drive, the very last drive for the Chargers, 21 plays, 78 yards, a touchdown, multiple fourth down conversions on that drive. So at the end of the day, Brandon Staley still being aggressive for it on fourth down throughout the entirety of the game. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So we're heading into this offseason. No, Brandon Staley should not be fired, anything like that. I know a little underwhelming performance overall. The Chargers, they should have been in the playoffs. They should have been a playoff team. They should have been kind of Super Bowl favorites from the AFC this year. I get all that, but Brandon Staley stayed true to himself this entire year. He was going to be aggressive. They were going to go for it on fourth down. That's what the team was, and it seemed like everybody bought into that. Didn't seem like Justin Herbert or the offense was like, hey, we should stop going for it on fourth down. Seemed like they rallied around it. They played great on fourth down. Justin Herbert scored, I think, the final touchdown on fourth down. Kind of something stupid. Like, it was really kind of stupid that it happened. So, I mean, just like no time to go, fourth down conversions, all that. Chargers getting it done in the clutch because they just let Justin Herbert rip it. The man just rips the ball, and that's when the Chargers play their best, when they are down, and they have Justin Herbert throw the ball 64 times in this game. So, I'm not calling for Brandon Staley's job or anything like that. He stayed committed to it on fourth down here, even in a win or do or die situation on the road, final game, prime time, all that. So I don't think Brandon Staley should be losing his job. Everyone's saying he should. I don't agree with it. He was aggressive. He's been aggressive all season. He stuck to his guns. That's what this Chargers team is. Just unfortunately, the defense still gave up 35 points. The defense still couldn't get it done in overtime. So I think the main focal point this offseason should really be the defense and not Brandon Staley's, poor offensive management. He sticks to his guns, and for that, I can't really knock him for that. Now, if he clammed up here and never went for it on fourth down or anything like that, then yeah, now Brandon Staley's being a little wishy-washy. In the biggest game, he clams up, all that, but no, he stuck to his guns. They got down big. He came back from behind, forced overtime, and that whole timeout thing, it's like a blank narrative. It's like somebody said it, and then y'all ran with it. Another thing that I cannot stand is how fast one thing can truly stick, and y'all just run with it, whether it's right or not, has information backing it or no, or kind of information not backing it. Y'all still run with it anyway. Yes, Brandon Staley took a timeout, but it was because there was 6 seconds left on the play clock. The Chargers were a little bit too much slacking off, and once again, after the timeout, the Raiders still ran the ball. They just had a big old pickup, so they decided to run the ball again. After the timeout, they have a 10-yard run with Josh Jacobs. So, yeah, they were just running the ball after the timeout. It's not like they called the timeout and then they threw the ball. No, they still ran the ball. It picked up 10 yards. It got into great field goal range, so they decided to kick the field goal. It's not Brandon Staley's timeout that somehow was like, oh, now the Raiders are like, oh, now let's go win the game. Oh, they want to call the timeout? Now let's go win the game. They were going to run the ball regardless if he used a timeout or not. The Raiders may have even used a timeout, before the play clock got down. Who knows? But at the end of the day, they were going to run the ball regardless. And if the Chargers stopped them defensively, they wouldn't even get that kind of game-winning field goal. They would have stopped the run. The Raiders probably would have tried one more run. And if that didn't work out, then the game's over. And that would have been the game. It's not Brandon Staley's timeout that lost them the game. I think that's kind of nonsense to even say or even think about. So, and I know Derek Carr, everyone's like, oh, no, Derek Carr kind of said it. And no, Derek Carr did not say that. Derek Carr said, hey, I don't want to play for the tie. That's all he said. So I just don't get it sometimes with y'all. That's really it. But yeah, Brandon Staley does not deserve to be fired. That's my take on it. So the Raiders get the big old win here, 35-32. Derek Carr finally clutch as heck, getting it done in overtime. Raiders overall just clutch as heck, which we haven't seen over 3 years. So this is a breath of fresh air. Just unfortunate it does come at the expense of Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert. Unfortunate there. So Raiders get the win, 35-32. Raiders get into the playoffs. Chargers don't. And once again, we get the Steelers in the playoffs. If it was a tie, no Steelers in the playoffs, which we definitely could have gotten behind. But now we have to watch the Steelers in the playoffs instead of the Chargers. That may be one of the worst things ever in NFL history. Alrighty, so those were all the matchups that we saw yesterday in the season finale of Week 18. Joe Judge is staying with the Giants. Let's go over some breaking news over the last hour and 40 minutes here. Anything going crazy? Dave Gettleman officially announced his retirement, as senior vice president and general manager for the Giants. So that's going to be great. Dave Gettleman is gone. So maybe Joe Judge will be gone as well when the new general manager gets into place. Joe Judge should be gone. All right, so we get David Gettleman is gone as the general manager for the Giants, which is obviously the best thing. Anthony Lynn is gone. We know this. What else do we get here? David Gettleman is the biggest news so far, and obviously rightfully so. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross on Tua Tagovailoa's future with the team. I have a lot of confidence in Tua, and I think the next head coach will work with him. Alrighty. Alrighty. So, seems like it was just been David Gettleman is the breaking news here. So, we'll still see probably news reporting in throughout the day on who's getting fired and all of that. David Culley better not be fired. We're just saying. And we'll see how long it takes before Doug Peterson is back as a head coach for one of these teams that need a head coach. Doug Peterson will be a head coach. It's just who and when. And he should be the first head coach hired, honestly. Alrighty, so let's see. Anything else here breaking as we were live? Does not seem to be so. So tomorrow on the show, what do we got to do? Don't got to talk about or break down Monday Night Football. No Monday night games here. So we'll probably walk through the playoffs and all that. Do one last sweep of Super Bowl pretender, playoff pretender, or just trash team now that the final playoff picture is set and all that. So yeah, I think we are going to call it here for today. Once again, if you're looking to bet today, national championship, for some reason, Alabama's underdogs, and y'all know what that means. Alrighty, so that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We're back live tomorrow, noon Eastern, around noon Eastern-ish. May get started a little bit earlier. Around 11:30, but that's just on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But either way, folks, we're out of here. Have a great one, and we will see you